Leader, welcome to my channel. Please be sure to subscribe before you leave. A friend of mine asked me, what's up with your banner? What is that phrase, turning maggot cultures into magnet cultures? Isn't the term maggot harsh? And I said, yes. And then they went on to say, I guess it's necessary. I said, you're right. And I want to spend this video sharing with you what a maggot culture is. Here's an example. Let's assume that each one of these red chips is a team member of yours, and you decide to send one of them off to training. They go and they learn. When they come back, they look like this. And you ask them, what's with the blue? They say to you, I learned I can be 30% more productive if I work like this. And you say, okay, go for it. The thing is, all the other team members look at Blue and go, what are you doing? And Blue says, I learned I can be 30% more productive if I work like this. And they say, yeah, right. Blue is no longer asked to after work drinks. Blue is no longer asked out to team lunches. Blue, every time Blue walks into an area, Blue realizes that talking stops and snickering starts. What do you think Blue is going to eventually do? Yep, go right back to being red. You spend all that time, that money, Blue spent all that energy learning. You actually did this. They went away, learned they can be more productive, and then you dropped them into the same red culture. Your culture did not change. Blue changed. Your culture did not change. Your culture is a maggot culture. How do we know that? Because when somebody did something productive, because it was against the grain, because it was against what people like, they started ostracizing Blue, snickering at Blue, and Blue said, that's it, I'm worn down. It's not worth it. That's a maggot culture. What's another sign of a maggot culture? Another sign of a maggot culture is anytime leadership comes up with processes or programs to help people to improve, people who don't want to improve resist it and fight it. And after a while, you say, forget it. Another sign is you and your team go to training and learn a lot of good stuff. And when you get back, give it a week. And everything is the way it was before the training. That's a sign of a maggot culture. Another sign of a maggot culture is a valued team member comes to you and says, hey, I'm giving you my notice. And you say, oh, wait, what's happening? Where are you going? I'm going over here. Why? They're going to pay me this much. And you say, give me 24 hours. They say, okay. After 24 hours, you've gotten all the clearance to give them a raise. You sit them down and say, hey, we're going to give you a raise. Will you stay? That's a maggot culture. Why? Because before they told you they were going to leave, you weren't going to give them a raise. They weren't worth a raise. Now, you have figured out since they're leaving, you have to recruit, pay for that, hire, do all that, train, pay for that, and then wait for the new person to get up to speed enough to start giving you a return on investment on the salary. It's cheaper to give them a raise now. That's a maggot culture. Maggot culture. Why? Because maggots, they get into stuff that's already rotted, and gosh, leaders, there are times that the rotting is going on in front of your face and you don't even realize it. And then the maggots show up and they start eating at everything, and no matter what you do, it never gets back to healthy. So what do? I'm going to share with you how to go from a maggot culture to a magnet culture. Maggot cultures repel people, good people. Magnet cultures attract people, good people. That's for the next video.